So, yeah, are we just going to have another mage into the Ziggs? Because Ziggs does everything that you want from this style, from the bottom lane, but Viper has been practicing so many different angles.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, because could end up going towards like something like a Varus if you wanted to just try and push out the lanes with a poke style, or if you do want to try and match these mages in the bottom lane. It doesn't mean a lot of your damage is quite AP focused though, which isn't ideal for BLG, but there we go. We talked about the Shen. Honestly, I think the Rel decent into it thanks to that Shattering Strike, but On still valuing that pick for that level 6 mobility around the map and being able to help out on plays.
I think it's more just about On's playstyle, right?
Yeah.
Utilizing the Shen, something that he will be able to exhibit incredibly effectively. That's an Echo Hover. Crazy things are happening here in this series.
Yeah.
Does Pays live on? Because there was a lot of talk of the Echo bot lane still existing, but may not be the case here.
Yeah.
All right, imagine if they picked Anivia Yone, and then you had no idea where they're going. The Rumble, though, is going to be a little bit more clear-cut, but there is the Yone we were talking about into the hands of Zeka here, jumping straight onto Comfort.
I mean, yeah, he has played so many of his iconic champions at this tournament already, slamming them all. Speaking of
he
which,
ain't going to be playing that one, though, as Knight pick. Wait.
It's the Cassiopeia
It
bot!
is the Cassiopeia bot! We didn't know whether it was good, but maybe it will be today, as Knight is going to be fighting fire with fire.
chase down kill, whereas Ziggs is a bit more cooldown reliant.
It's also On who loves to get on the map level 2 on this Shen, so we'll have to see if he can have an impact in the mid lane against two of these melee champions, but we're already on to Summoner's Rift for this best of 5.
Oh, and we get the Gyos versus the HANWHA sets, which I think is very, very cool. And we have a packed house today, ladies and gentlemen, for this upper bracket final. And already the fighting has begun. Delight gonna have to crash his way out of there. Viper still sinking the fangs in. There's the Conqueror. Heal has to be popped here by Delight.
Yeah, that's that chase down. He popped the Ghost immediately there to get the health trade. So Viper getting a decent amount of damage, but used a lot of mana in doing that at level 1 as well.
Gumayusi will have, I guess, a summon a spell advantage, but not really because it's teleport. As now On looking for a bit of an angle once again. Playing very aggressively here. Misses the taunt though, misses the crash down on the other side. Good footwork here by these AP carries as Gumayusi doesn't get the bouncing bomb, just goes straight over the head of the Shen. And in the end, pretty even trade.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you managed to dodge away from that Shen taunt, though, and still take the worst for wear trade isn't exactly what you want. And Shun already invading onto this bottom side means he has an opportunity to try and look for a play in the bottom lane, but that ward and Tri-Brush will probably spot him out just as he tries to move in.
Yeah, the double wards here. And they're getting pushed into the tower as well. I also just love over-analyzing the early movements on skill shot dodges, you know? You're always trying to get in the head of your opponent, and Guma, on his first dodge, moves forward in the aggressive dodge, but not going to reveal himself at the moment over these wards that they did place, and so it's just going to go for the recall here. So that means that Naafiri is going to walk over the extra vision, and they're going to go try and counter.
Yeah, some pings out, so they know exactly where he is. You can see pings all over the place here by BLG.
This is what I was talking about, these level 2 roams that On consistently does on the Shen. Just trying to cover the jungle, though, it looks like, because they weren't sure where the Jarvan was going to be. A ward died on the blue buff on top side, but now mid lane.
Yeah, in goes Kanavi, looks for the angle, and they thought that he'd already gone into the jungle. Instead, he just pokes his head in, looks to try and get some damage on tonight, is able to do so, but Zeka already had a health disadvantage. It's not going to be the end of the world for the mid laner of BLG.
That's why it's so important, these wards that you leave behind in the jungle when going for those.
This might be, though, but the snapback does have to come through here for Zeka. What goes out must come back. And Kanavi on the blue buff here. Shun is moving over on vision right now. Gets the ward down. There is the blue taken by Kanavi, and now he looks to try and turn this fight. In comes On, looking for the angle, but Zeus is going to get hit first, like you were saying. Knight's moving over. Blastcone is there. He gets himself into the battle, but Zeus has the flame spitter out. The flash over, but the jump back from Kanavi. The flash taunt to come in, though, and first blood over tonight. Shun gets out of there. Zeus is overheating. On is still trying to fight as Bin makes his way in. The hop comes through, but Delight is looking to try and keep them away from his teammates. Still, he's going to go down 2-0 for BLG.
BLG strike first in the series with the invade covered with en masse 4 members from every team showing up.
Even with Rumble heading first, Knight also collapses from mid lane, and he gets in there first. They get the first blood. Let's take a look at it, because they're trying to trap the Naafiri, and even though Shun does not not have his smite, he immediately goes for the attack here. EQ's in, gets his passive auto, so nice little bit of damage to start it out. And then here come the roams. On and Knight are gonna get there first. Zeus flashes to try and get there, but Shun immediately evades into the wolf pit.
And it's a blast cone the position's on to actually keep Zeka at bay. The flash with the taunt to come in, the heal to keep people topped up as well. Shun flag and dragging over the wall, using that mobility. And with a 3-man boomerang off the back of this from Bin, it's Delight who has to give his life so the rest can escape.
Really good evasive maneuvers by Shun. The flash, the avoidance over the wall with the EQ as well, and the early collapse. This meta, so many teams have said is jungle led, and we're back into the jungle scraps.
Yeah, Delight makes his way back from the death chamber immediately into another battle here, but not too much is going to come of it unless On has anything to say about it.
Not certain what happened in the bot lane, but both flashes burnt on Viper and Gumayusi, so there was some action that happened in that bottom side as well, which is why BLG now sitting in this tribe rush, considering going for Gumayusi, but this is his comfort zone. Yeah. He just lives under his turret.
Exactly, and he teleported back, so obviously lost a bit of a health trade there after the flash as well. Gets back to lane, but now the Ghost is up for Viper, so I don't think this 1v1 is going to necessarily work. Yeah, you can see though on the side of your screens, this is BLG trying to see if they can move themselves to finals and start that Golden Road out strong, because it was kind of the last time we saw this potential for Golden Road was 2023 JDG, where it was Knight and Kanavi working together to make that happen, but it was the Zeus. Oh, hang on. Beautiful taunt is going to come through there. Shuriken backflip comes down. Zeka so close to dead, but is going to be able to make it out and holds the flash.
And so critical to be able to keep this pathway from mid to bottom clear of vision, because you know On wants to make many more visits over towards that lane. Of course, Delight trying to keep up as well, but BLG with the early moves, the early priority here, in addition to their 1,000 gold lead, they're going to be able to stack up the dragon. And can Kanavi even do anything in the meantime? You see him kind of hovering around mid, but they are so low from Zeka right there that he doesn't have options, and Nefiri is just losing time, losing efficiency here.
He wants to try and go in towards mid lane, but Knight not really given that opportunity, even with Delight there, so they back away. He's now just going back in towards his top side. Is Dragon taken? You've got Bin under tower. BLG are controlling this early game so well.
At the highest level, jungle is just the role that you can just snowball so effectively early on in the game. These incremental advantages, single camps, can really mean the difference. And when you have an explosive invade like that involved 8 people, there are going to be huge ramifications, and Shun will be set up for success. Delight here, though, trying to get something back on the top side, as Shun is in his re-clear at the moment on Gromp, and Delight kind of spying, but pops out of the brush.
Kanavi's trying to move over, though. Just finished his Krugs to try and regroup. Zeka even moving across. Maybe it's just a vision play. I wasn't sure if they wanted to try and make a play towards the Wolves there, but unfortunately for HLE, it amounts to nothing for them with all the moves.
Yeah, this is going so well for BLG, remaining incredibly efficient with their moves. Right into the next clear, and look at On, already going to move in to get bot side vision for his team. Thank you for the toggle observers. Shun's level 6 now, so he can go back up On as well. They can go for the aggressive play. They've got Knight post level 6 with his Dark Seal ready.
Oh yeah. And Delight just, it feels like On is always there, ready to come out of that banana brush as they're looking for this blue buff as well. Kanavi is obviously going to fight for it as they dive over. Shattering Strike is going to connect On to On, but Shun is going to secure that blue buff. There's the taunt flash. Oh, Viper finds a petrifying gaze, immediately cuts down 2, and BLG moved to 4-0.
It's insane, the synergy here. They instantly engage. On doesn't miss a beat. Shun takes the blue buff, then On goes for the taunt flash right here to be able to follow it up with a miasma. Viper already ghosting over to be in position. BLG are hitting the ground running here.
But it's in a different style from what we saw from them domestically. It was Shun playing for lanes when they won the LPL. Now at MSI, it's BLG rallying around this Jarvan, playing for these invades, and BLG are looking slick off the back of it.
Yeah, and winning the jungle is a team event, and that's exactly what BLG are making happen here. On just seems to always be there, ready to poke his nose in, make things frustrating. As BLG looking to come over and grab these grubs. Kanavi in the area, Delight up here towards his top side as well. Looks like HLE do want to go for a fight. They're down 2,000 gold though. The first grub is going to fall. Gumayusi gets the minefield down, but I don't think they're going to be able to do anything about this. First couple of grubs go, and there is the third. BLG going to be able to pick this up without a fight.
Yeah, Knight had started to move up mid, so BLG were ready to fight all 5, but instead it's this fight that really earned us, because you can see here On is incredibly patient with the taunt, kind of playing this gimme game with Kanavi, but instead turns on towards Gumayusi, and it's the miasma, it's the petrifying gaze, it's the cataclysm, it's an all-out nuke for BLG.
Yeah, Guma literally 100-0 right there. He got taunted into miasma, as you say, into the ultimate as well from Viper. He did get to move, and he got slam dunked.
Yeah, I think he was lucky to actually be able to press R in amongst all of that. Did manage to get the ult off, but it didn't do nearly enough to make any difference in that fight. And now, 1-0-1 on the Cassiopeia. HLE are looking to try and get an inroad here towards this top side of the map. But even Bin has completely evened out this matchup. It was something that Zeus was getting a little bit further ahead in, but not to be the case anymore.
I gotta say, if you poll a jungler who your favorite support is, I feel like 10 out of 10 gonna say On. This brother is a jungler support, and now he's gonna look for bottom lane for Guma again.
Well, he's actually gonna be supporting Viper here for what feels like the first time this game. There's another petrifying gaze, and man, is it scary.
Is On just the GOAT, okay? I mean, this Shen support is insane. River Shen into tower diving Shen. Can HLE answer?
Shun here.
Looking for a bit of an angle. Shun here for the defense. They do get the knock up onto Zeus. Everyone in the Cataclysm. The Equalizer goes down, though. The Flame Sweeter comes through. They do knock down the Jarvan. Bin trying to find a target. The crash down there to stop any sort of re-engage. But Bin gets the flash. Nah, finds the Rel as Kanavi needs to jump over this wall. He will do so. The house is not going to quite connect. And they go 1-for-1.
1-for-1. I mean, you still manage to get a lot of those minions under the tower as well, but Knight and On here. On's to level 5. I don't think you can go for this, can you?
Well, they're going to double with a 5-point strike. He only needed 2 points as Knight will be able to take him down. It's now 8-1, and he's moved to 3-0 in the mid lane.
All right, that was nasty. That was absolutely nasty. The instant double kill. And On just happy to tank up the tower there. All right, that's my job.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't get the assist. Oh, hang on, Knight.
Yeah, he's teleported back in with a gunblade at the ready. Throws it out just there, and the flash has to be used from Zeka. He's like, what the heck happened to that guy?
He didn't even have the ultimate. That was just Knight kind of putting his foot down going, I'm first item. You might be another kill on the board, but this was insane underneath the tower.
Okay, so BLG, they're trying to set up here to counter this dive. Shun is here and ready, and they started out going onto Zeus into the big Cataclysm.
And it's the Light who's just barely able to get out of range of the turret there. But as Kanavi tries to set this one up, the jump away means he takes so much damage off the tower. Luckily having the invulnerability to dodge away from that flash. Good reactions from the HLE jungler. But unfortunately for them, Knight was already on the move. And this play is sick.
Yeah, goes in with the flash to make sure there's no reaction. Flash ult into Q for the double. Doesn't even celebrate.
No reaction.
Job's not done. Job is not done. You know what the job is too, because Knight gave an interview just the other day with LPL English talking to Alk, and he said, I'm here to prove that the LPL is going to be able to take down LCK. And he
so
did
far, so good.
That tower dive at least.
Well, still early days like you were saying, but it's a 3.8k gold lead, and both of these compositions are very explosive. Viper going to give us a little bit of a taste of that as he says hello to his former support.
Yeah, I do just think BLG been playing so well off their lane states. Like shifting Viper mid consistently to match when Knight roams top, having Shun in position to cover some of these top plays. Like they've been playing the map in these early stages so well, and obviously On helping out massively with that, with just the presence he's had in keeping HLE in their own jungle.
Shun wants a piece. He wants another blue buff here.
Oh, Kanavi may not be able to fight for this one, but he still gets knocked up. There's the taunt, and Knight on a rampage. Absolutely perfect execution. And BLG will be able to steal away the rest of the jungle. That was just a little bit of a bridge too far.
This
Kanavi?
looks like an instruction video of how to play the game. Like BLG are just so clean on every single one of them. It looks set up, but now Zeka might be the next one.
Yes, the soul may be unbound in more ways than one. However, he does go back. That turret is theirs for the taking, though, as Zeus and Bin facing off underneath Zeus' turret here towards his top side. And HLE desperately need to be able to slow this game down. I just don't know whether it's ever going to be possible with just the speed that BLG are playing with.
I mean, this is BLG's comfort zone, right? The ability to very quickly get out on the map and start to play. And now, even if you start to look for a side lane play as HLE, that becomes more difficult. On is ticked over to level 6, so he can make a play top, still protect Viper on the bottom side, and keep control of these side lanes so well for BLG.
Yeah, and it's Knight's comfort zone. As you said, BLG, they operate best when Knight is very fed. That happens a lot.
Yep.
And it is true this game, in addition to all of these kills and being the richest one in the map, on the map.
Yep, Coinbase Gold Grind letting us know 2,000 gold in advantage for this Akali. As On, obviously, is just always ready for a battle anywhere on the Rift. Is going to take that Mega Cone into the Baron Pit. And 2 Drakes already on the board here for BLG, looking for a Chemtech Soul here this game.
And one of the big discussions coming into this international tournament, you know, I always love the different leagues comparing themselves against each other. And all LPL talking about Knight is the greatest in the world right now. And people saying, well, okay, but there's a lot of really good mid laners are playing the LCK. So let's see how he does up against the LCK mid laners. And he hasn't missed a beat.
It's not even like you can kind of say, oh, well, you know, Zeka's on a weird... Like, this is Zeka down to the T, right? Like, This is his comfort zone, and it's not being able to outplay him on this Akali, pick up some of these early kills. Like, there's a reason this man was averaging 7 kills on average coming in to this tournament, and he wants to add maybe another one.
Yeah, this could be number 5 as the equalizer goes down from Zeus. He does have his teammates coming, but they're not going to be there soon enough. The Magna Storm is going to come down, but Knight gets himself out of there. Kanavi almost dies before he even gets in, as they do get the shutdown, but at what cost, ladies and gentlemen? Bin says everything.
It is a massacre. BLG delete HLE from the map. It does start around Knight. And it ends down here as well, Dagda.
And it's the immediate ult from On as well. They know that there's going to be a huge amount of pressure down in this bot lane. Knight gets the kill, On TP's in. Shun is here to support, but Knight survives for so long. Because even though you get the immediate crash down, Kanavi tries to get the ult in. Knight's able to step away from the sweet spot of the ult from Gumayusi, and this is when the cavalry arrives.
The name of the game is team play. BLG have been so cohesive from the very first play of the game, going for the invade. Shun steals away their bottom side of the map. Then on the response, BLG defend better on and Knight with that early collapse. And since then, every play has been BLG.
Yeah, the Masma just stopping Delight from being able to press any button at all, really. He does have Ghost, but that's not going to help him here as he is likely to go down. Gets the heal. Nice satchel, but it's not going to be enough. Down he will go, and Shun, he's the one to now pick up his 5th kill of the game.
Yeah, Kanavi just trying to hold on.
Oh dear, Knight going for the 1v1. He'll find it.
I don't envy the observers here. How are you supposed to keep up with this?
Well, I mean, they're doing a pretty good job as Kanavi's going to go down as well. They knew he was about to bounce over that wall. He is going to stay alive, at least for the next couple of moments, as we toggle the vision. On is obviously hunting. And it looks like the doggo is going to slink away for now.
So it turns out BLG can also snowball very effectively against the #1 LCK team.
Well, it's also, you were talking about Alk doing an interview for LPL English. She did one with Kanavi as well. And Kanavi was talking about how he needed to be aware of how quickly LPL junglers can play the game. Like, he hasn't had that same level since coming over to the LCK. And you're kind of seeing, you know, maybe he's slightly rusty coming into this one.
Yeah, might have slowed down just a little bit. Not really been what we've assumed in the LCK. We felt like the rest of HLE kind of caught up to Kanavi, but we're starting to see that perhaps that was not true.
And I just love that it is all about the team play and everyone of one mind here on BLG. They're not hesitating at all. Every single play, you know, so well coordinated. The follow-up in CC between On and literally everyone else, especially Viper with these key roams. We were going to be a little bit skeptical of this Cassio bot, but he has been so good, Dagda, with his early ghost popping so he can be in position for a lot of these plays. On there going for a little bit of a check, you know. That's kind of a see if they flinch when you taunt at them.
Yeah,
I'm not going to throw my flash, but maybe I can get something.
But that's why I think this meta suits On down to a T, right? Like, this guy has always been so good at cheating tempo, faking the map movements that he's going to play, and should be able to step away from this, but It's also, as you say, like just there, trying to see if you can maybe blow Summoner Spell, just kind of be a bit cheeky. And now this roaming style meta where he's able to be out on the map is perfect for him. And I think that's why BLG could thrive just off the back of him alone.
He's also immune to caster curses. Trying your best.
Which I appreciate.
Oh, I was going to say, like, even that is maybe an extra layer he didn't deserve. Yeah, it was kind of beautiful. And it's all right. Zeka going to be able to grab himself a plate, take some of that crystalline overgrowth off, but BLG, I mean, they just kind of look at the river and take full control. HLE down 7.5k gold, pre-20 minutes. I mean, this is an absolute massacre at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, BLG are just such an insane team at snowballing. So good at snowballing. And they've done it yet again here. So I think this one is just incredibly hard to stop, obviously, because of not only gold, but also the dragon. So I mean, HLE, they might already be thinking about like draft for the next game because right now they can't even get their red buff.
Yeah,
and also got the smite dialed in, Atlas.
This is the problem, though, as well. If you're looking at the next game, if you're looking at like the fearless value, I guess you could say Kanavi took away the Nefiri. HLE fans probably not too excited about that, but in goes Knight, and he could have used Zeka's skin if he would like to on this champion. And that is another denial from HLE. I think BLG get a lot out of this, even as far as Fearless is concerned, moving into game number 2.
This is just insane. Like, BLG are trying so hard, just continuously keep this pressure up. And even now, like, with that push away, you still have Shun covering for Knight. He's starting to get more turret plates. Kanavi.
Yeah, I don't know what Kanavi is supposed to be able to do here as he does bounce his way out, but he's still just dead. That's a solo kill here for Shun.
Absolutely absurd. Like, Shun is just living in his jungle, and it's so incredibly difficult for Kanavi. Like, you're a voltaic cyclosword in a dream here, hoping that you can hold on to things.
I think it's a cyclosword in a nightmare, Dagda. That's what it's feeling like for me. As
for real.
The Rift Herald will be thrown down here in this mid lane. That is going to get a very comfortable kill on this outer turret that's lasted a much longer time than I was expecting. Shun driving forward, a beautiful taunt. They catch Gumayusi just the edge of the petrifying gaze. And I think that Guma was scared at the beginning of that play. Definitely was at the end after Viper got in there.
Man, the read from On right there and the fall, but he's like, you know what? I'm going to play up the Rift Herald as well. Guma's in a great spot right now to throw my flash this time. I'm not faking this time. We're going to full send. They combo again and get another kill. I mean, there are the memes. The only thing, you know, for, as we see Knight delete another.
Well, Delight is going to try and exhaust him, but even tired, Knight is very capable of just murdering Kanavi.
So there are the memes of BLG bad late game, but I think the chances.
What late game, Kirby?
Yeah, I think the chances of that showing up are literally zero this game. I think it's actually we never get there.
I think it's also when you don't really have to play macro, you just send Knight into a position HLE might be. I think it becomes a lot easier to try and do that, you know?
Yeah, I think being able to attack move is all you really need at this point in time.
It's also like, I do think BLG have this insane ability to just lock the hell in whenever they are up against some of these really top teams. And especially when you're playing against some of the guys that, you know, for Knight that denied you that golden road back in the day, like, it gets personal for these lads.
Oh, it does.
I mean, the idea of, like, play to the level of your opponents or ideally just above the level of your opponents. And here they certainly are. So game number 1, of course, you know, this is an absolute blowout from BLG. But we have seen teams, you know, bounce back within best of 5 series. We had a very rare even reverse sweep already at this tournament. And so even when an individual team is a blowout like this, it does not mean the rest of the series necessarily is going to go in the same favor. You could definitely see a world where HLE are also able to do, you know, a very massive snowball game within this series a little bit later on. Not this one.
And also shellackings are much easier to bounce back from than very close long games, because that is very strenuous, incredibly stressful, and then the whole time you felt like you could do it, and then you're one game further away.
So right, this game they're like,
this game,
at no point did I feel like
based on what I've seen Kanavi doing, he is already thinking about what to play in game 2.
Yeah, I mean, the Mascot Prices moment there coming up with the Soul, but I didn't want to just highlight, like, the hunt for the Golden Road for BLG is massive for them. Like, this was denied but from Knight and Kanavi on JDG back in 2023 by Gumayusi and Zeus, but now they want to get a little bit more.
Yeah, Cataclysm onto only Kanavi is not exactly the target they're looking for, as Delight is just kind of dead as an afterthought. Kanavi gonna have to run the heck out of there as the Twin Fangs are being sunk in. And BLG now just knocking on the door of HLE. And HLE, I just don't think they're going to be able to. They're hiding in the attic at this point in time. They're like, you can take all the stuff. Take all the stuff. We'll just hang out here. Please.
Don't answer that door. You're not going to like what's on the other side.
No.
It's also when, like, they just don't reset. They just go and they go and they go and they go. Like, it's insane. BLG really just kicking up the pace here.
And we haven't even had time to really talk about items or anything like that, but Knight does have a very cool book that he's put together already.
He does like it.
A few pages in there as well. And Shun getting closer and closer to his Guardian Angel, not to mention Bin with a couple of items. I mean, man, this is just... It's just over, isn't it?
Is Knight the most... okay, we got another on ult. They're going to kill someone.
Kanavi is dead, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to flash first, but then he is indeed going to go down.
Is Knight the most prolific writer of all League pros? Because he buys Medjais the most of any pro for internationals, guaranteed.
It's literally every game.
Guaranteed.
Every single game he picks it up. It's like known in China as Knight's murder book.
He's got,
Like, it is just... That is his thing. It's his shtick, you know?
Yeah, he does have the death note.
Well, Zeker is going to look for a bit of an angle. He does manage to buffer the ulti, but still gets knocked up. Nothing he could do. Shun able to lock down that kill as Knight gets into the back line. That is an electrocution onto Gumayusi and an execution onto HLE here in game number 1. My God, it was not close as BLG just paving this road right over the top of HANWHA Life Esports.
BLG just not giving HANWHA a chance. Kanavi sent packing as nice, looking for one more.
Yeah, he may as well see whether he dives the fountain. Not going to be the case just yet, as Kanavi is trying to tempt them into it, but the Nexus is going to be the focus here. BLG, all business, as they will be able to take game number 1.